If you have any pet ducks in the room, please ask them nicely to leave. What I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. It's going to shock the feathers right off your wigs, friends. I'm going to start with this. Did you know that the US yield curve knew that the zombie virus in 2020 was going to happen? Someone knew, and they went and they priced it in to the US yield curve. Surprised? I know you're not. Let's go on. What I'm going to do is show you the yield curve. It is the rate of borrowing for 3 months versus 10 years. Now I'm going to ask you this. If you were lending money out for 10 years, you want a good interest rate, don't you? For example, when you lock up your HEX for 10 years, you want really big yield, right? Correct. If you lock up your money for 3 months, you don't need that much, do you? And if you were lending it out, you're like, you know what I mean? I don't need that much. It's very, very low risk. Okay, so if we have a world or a market where that's inverted, you think, how can that possibly be? How the hell can somebody sailing on the friendship with a straight posture, how can they demand less money in 10 freaking years than in 3 months? How does that happen? Insiders, bug eaters. That's how it happens. You see, these people, bug eaters, the insiders, the scam, they know something bad's about to happen. They are in a building and they know a fire is going to start. The yield curve, when it's inverted like that, it is a picture of the bug eaters standing right next to the fire exit. Every single time there's a fire in a building, they are right there and they're standing next to the exit. How do they know that the fire was going to start at this time? Doesn't matter. They're standing at the exit. This is the yield curve, friends. This is a 3-month to 10-year yield curve. Would you believe every single time it came down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every single time, baby dolls, recession. Hard R recession. Joblessness. I'm going to show you the chart. This is it right here. You see these orange spikes up? This is unemployment. You see that? Unemployment, unemployment, unemployment. Crazy, okay? Yeah, it is crazy. How does this happen? Well, I'll just explain it for you. They're insiders. So precisely what they do is, okay, they have either researchers or bug eaters, or they control the future, or they know. They know the information. So because they're managing hundreds of billions of dollars, these insiders, the bug eaters, the scam, they will go take a bet, a hedge, right? They call it a hedge, ain't really a hedge, right? They'll go take a position in the markets which reveals itself that they know this information. They will go to the most sensitive, leveraged thing you can do if this world plays out. And that is to go buy the long end bonds. They go and buy it up. So friends, if they buy up the price, the yield gets smaller and smaller. Okay? So they're happy to accept that because they know the sensitivity is huge if something bad happens. Because if something real bad happens, people's expectations of the future of growth crushes down. So think about this. If you thought the stock market was going to give you minus 20% over the next 3 years because you're in that much fear, you are more than happy to go buy up a bond that gives you 2% per year. You see what I mean? You're happy to do that. Okay, what about if the bond was 1% per year? You're still happy to buy it because you knew, they're like, man, the stock market is going to be destroyed. It's going to be minus 20% for the next 3 years. Something really bad's going to happen. I'm happy to take 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%. So that's you paying up, by the way. You're buying up the bond. You're happy to even take 0%. This is what's happened. Okay, now let's continue. So what's more fascinating, right, is people knew about the zombie virus. So the US yield curve inverted in August 2019 and predicted, I'm not going to say this word, the zombie virus. How? There were US bug eater insiders who interviewed Chinese scientists back in 2019, friends. They were able to decipher the severity of the zombie virus. They could see people turning into flesh-eating zombies back around August. Okay, now let me show you. Remember August. I'm going to go back to the yield curve. Look at this. Look at this date, friends. This is June, July, August, right here. You see that? The inversion. See this horizontal line? This horizontal line is exactly 0. So if it's below it, it means it's inverted. It means the cost of money has been inverted, all right, by the time you see this. So everything when it goes under here, what that means is, okay, you are literally at this price, you are going to a bond and saying, okay, today's price of the bond only gives me 2% if I'm in for 3 months. I'm going to go to the long end bond and I'm happy to take 1.9%. Okay, that's how the bug eaters, that's how corrupt and rigged this whole system is. This cheats. But we're not going to roll over and die. We're going to use it to our advantage. We are using crypto. So this is what's going on, friends. These people knew. They interviewed scientists. Now we don't know they exactly did. I'm just postulating, okay? Because there were early reports of the zombie virus. Clearly, these people, they manage hundreds of billions of dollars. So these people hire people all around the world. They go, hey, go investigate this, go check that out. I want to just know the first ground hearing research and information of any world news event. Because I want to be first to sweep up the bonds with trillions of dollars of basically leverage. So these bug eater scum leaked cockroach information. Right? They're cockroaches, they're henchmen. They get leaked information. Remember, I've shown you, of course, there are people who not only know the future, they control the future. Friends, I'm not going to say the family, let's say the Rothschild family have a patent for the zombie virus, the vaccine, and they painted it like a year before it came out. Like it was just, or a few years before. It was just the most, I thought it was fake. I thought it was so fake. I went to research it myself. It's actually true. Okay, so clearly something was going on, right? Now, because these people know the information, things eventually spread out. And the circle of people who know, so there's like, the deep insiders who know, and then it gets out like a circle, and now there's like 50 people that know, and then it becomes like, 300 people that know, and then 10,000 people that know, all these people, right? And then so, a few of them are like big hedge fund managers, and they start doing the insider, buying up the bonds and stuff. And then finally, me and you are like the part of the billions of people who find out at the very end, all right? So it's interesting. These people, the bug eaters, they started buying up the bonds before mainstream China broke out with the news. Before mainstream China had the zombie virus in December 2019. Think about that. That's how deep this rabbit hole goes. And it's not even me saying it. Oh, it's buried right here, friends. It is buried right here. Interesting, right? Why do you think why don't they talk about that on television? They should be telling everyone, hey, guys, don't you think it's weird that a zombie virus that came from China with some pangolin that everyone thought was just a Dota 2 hero, but is like a real animal? Isn't it weird that somebody was taking a bet financially that this thing was going to play out before even the Chinese public knew? Don't you think it's strange? Oh, you don't? Okay, so cool. You know what's also interesting, friends? I thought this was fake when I first heard it too, but it's real. When that, September 11th, okay, when the two planes flew into the Jenga tower, the wooden block Jenga towers, or two of them, right? There were people who took multi-million-dollar put positions. They bet on the airline stocks going down. They bought it a week before. Okay, so not only they profited, and these are Americans, and they were questioned by the FBI. I went and read all the files, and they go, no evidence of wrongdoing, and they just cut it off. You can't find any information. Okay, they go deep down the rabbit hole, and then it just cuts off. So these are people who knew that September 11th was going to happen. Okay, so this thing it's not new. This has been happening for a long time. Okay, so I'm not surprised these people knew about this zombie virus and the extent everything was going to happen. So I'm not surprised at all. Now, today, though, something else is coming. And they know something else is coming. Look how deep it is, friends. If we inverted this much back then, what the hell is going on now? You know what this basically means? It means the only way for this to go back up, okay, how does this actually uninvert? By the way, just to let you know, the bad part, so here's where zombie virus happened right here, okay? Zombie virus happens right here. So the actual bad part starts when you uninvert. And then like this is the real bad. But so this only goes up as they're cutting rates, okay? They're cutting that rate. So your short-term rate, you're getting too much of a good sweet deal because you don't think things are really bad, all right? So that's the only way for things to happen. So when it goes down, it's the warning signs. It's warning signs. It's the insiders flashing to everybody, hey, you know, your whole world is going to get turned upside down. Everyone's going to lose their job. Something bad's about to happen. But the market doesn't wake up to this yet. The market starts waking it up when the Fed starts cutting rates and we go the other way. So that's exactly what they've been saying now. The US yield curve today is mega deeply inverted. They know something has cracked the system. But of course, they're not going to tell us what it is. We are going to find out when stocks dump hard. Now, I don't know when they are. There is a case you can make. Well, maybe, you know, it's just a slowdown. But in the one time this thing, the US yield curve, it didn't get a hard recession. It still got a slowdown. All right. So it was like, it's 100% accurate with the slowdown. It just, one of them slowed down and then just stopped right before a recession. And then it was the economy was able to reburst. Okay. But it was 100% accurate with the slowdowns, which tells you there's insiders, friends. There's insiders, people who, they control the world. That's it. And people have a hard time wrapping around it. They're like, no, it's not possible because I can't keep a secret. Yeah, you can't keep a secret, and so can't they. That's how we know about it. It's just that no one believes. Do we not know about this, friends? I can show you on the yield curve. Clearly, things get leaked, okay? But they bet with their wallets, you see? Now, here's the thing. They might talk with their mouths, but they probably get disappeared. Why is the media going to show you this? They're not going to show you this. Why is the media going to show me and you that hey, did you know the whole financial system is rigged, by the way? Did you know that? Oh, good. You didn't? Sweet. Well, now you know. They're going to tell you that. They need the system to be stable. Okay. That's how they rule kingdoms and stuff. Okay. So the US 10-year bond has a lot of bug eaters. And I'm still turbo long crypto. Screw the bug eaters. No one is going to get me to sell my internet Ponzi tokens. We are going to take this to the very end. You know, the last times it inverted, friends, look at this. You had the 1990s recession. You had the dot-com bust. You had the GFC, you had the zombie virus, and here we are today. You don't know what's coming next, but you know they know something. That's it. They know something, and they know everything going on in the media is a bunch of baloney. We're in an interesting point, though, because we are seeing the stock market at these absolute euphoric levels. And I've shown you, if you draw a fib from the top of the GFC to the bottom, we are at this 4.236 extension. Now, this 4.236 extension, friends, it's basically the euphoria line. It's like massive euphoria line, especially for such a big market cap asset. If you notice, the S&P 500 is hovering around here. Now, just because we're here, it doesn't mean like, oh, sweet, we just go down. It doesn't mean that at all. It is possible that we stay in a complacency move for the whole year. Stock market comes down and it goes up, right? This is possible. And in 2025, the first quarter, it's possible everybody expects this, but somewhere down the line, some bad news comes. I don't know. You don't know what it is going to be, friends. China invading Taiwan, a rocket goes off somewhere, Putin's got muggers, he ordered cake, he's got diarrhea. Anything can happen. Don't worry about the news. But they are generational buying opportunities for non-crypto boomers. It's generational in terms of like they can buy stocks, they can buy assets that get blown apart, but like it's really, really like gut-wrenching. It's like buying alpha. But you know what? We sat through crypto. This is easy. This is easy. Like you want to throw this, oh, wow. Did you know this thing's out 35%? Yeah. Yeah, sweet. That's free money. That's free money. We got to buy stuff minus 95% down in crypto. All right, you ain't buying any of that because the Ponzi's get rescued. That's the thing. Okay, so we're equipped with it. The thing is, we just don't get the high returns because these people making the generational life-changing gains. What people have done is, I knew a guy. He in the GFC, I think he leveraged on his house and he bought like Commonwealth Bank shares in Australia, and this was like a god. This is considered like the god tier trade, and he made, I think, I'm not joking, he made a 3x. He bought it at like $17 and then sold it at like $54 or something. And I think he had like $800 on equity on the home. He borrowed like $250K, and then he made like a triple to like $750K, paid tax on the government. Now he's got $500K. It's like a house. Now, of course, it's like a noble. Oh, sweet, you did well, but we're laughing. Like this was considered the ultimate free money move to make a 200% gain buying a dip. It's just funny to think about. This was back in 2008. Now 3x, baby. I'm not getting out of bed for 3x. Are you serious? Like we're like, if your thing doesn't go if your thing doesn't go at least 50x, you're a failure. It's funny how the world we live in now in crypto. So looking at these stocks, right? We don't know what happens. I can just tell you right now, from the first Fed rate cut, this is how you know everything's BS, friends. Because the US Fed, they know this, by the way. They know this, they just don't say anything. They have insiders. Of course they do. They know what's going on. They just can't let you and me know that they know. And they have to, how they play the game is the economy turns. When it starts turning, they start cutting. That's the economy cutting. That's what they're going to be cut the rates soon. From March 17 or May 1st, one of them. The first rate cut. The US Fed does not preempt anything. They're always backwards looking. So if they're cutting, it means that there are big slowdowns from 12 months ago that is now affecting it. And so the cuts that they do today is only going to start taking effect 2025. They know this. They pretend they don't know this. They know this, of course. So that you don't cut when your economy is strong. You don't do that. Cutting means, something bad's about to happen. And they always overshoot. Always. They cannot thread the needle, they call it. Their hikes are always too trash. Their rate cuts are always too trash because they're always doing something super backwards. And it's impossible for the game to win, right? Because you're doing price changes of money, but there are insiders who know everything. And then they have to do price changes of money, which is the interest rates, but they have to tell me and you what the reasons are. Now, they can't tell me and you that they know what's going on because they're bug eaters. They can't tell you that. For example, if you go back to 2019, when the yield curve was inverting, okay? If you go back to 2019, the US Fed, let's say they had insiders who knew something was coming in China. They could not uninvert this yield curve straight away because you'd be like, hey, why? And they're like, oh, by the way, the world's going to be shut down and you guys, we're going to try usher in CBDCs later on and we're going to print money, etc., etc. We're going to try to do this shady stuff. They can't say that, okay? It's always on the back burner. Now, you can take two approaches. There are people perfectly fine living their life saying everything is random, none of it is planned, they're just doing their job. Okay, you can go sit over there on the left-hand side. You can go play with your own wheelie. All right, sweet. Live your life like that. For the rest of us who can actually use our eyes and can see billions of dollars basically showing themselves to be insider hands, all right, we're using this information for us. But now, you know all this. When's it going to crack? You still don't know. It's $1 trillion question. When's it going to crack? We're waiting. The Bitcoin 4-year cycle. It is scary to have the Bitcoin ETF released, but the 4-year cycle, friends, is still playing out perfectly to the tick. It is now Bitcoin halvening. I don't know. Okay. Now, if you are new, you're probably going to say, what's the big deal? Because we had the zombie virus in 2020 and they printed money. Okay. The zombie virus was a 0 to 10 panic event and they could cut rates to 0. What if this next bad event is a burn, a slow burn, a bleed out. What if it takes 15 months for it to play out? See, now I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you this is what happens, right? It's not like it's not the black swan of zombie virus was a quick V reversal, one and done. These never happen basically. They're so rare. The real ones that happen is these long drawn out things where there's lower highs and it makes everyone think that, oh, well, it's over now, and then it's not. What does that mean for crypto? We don't know. If I was to guess, this is what I hope, friends. This is what I just hope. I hope that Bitcoin pumps up harder than stocks in this final rally. We hope. We hope that happens. I hope that if the stocks kind of crash and then try to recover one last gasp to make their lower high, we hope that Bitcoin and crypto in that lower high for the stocks thrusts up to 80K. That would be our perfect scenario because we could see a divergence there because we will see, wait a minute, the stock market is not in screaming new highs, but crypto is. And we've just had like 1 or 2 months of euphoria, Bitcoin 75, 80K. So the bet would be, wait a minute, if stocks crash from here, Bitcoin cycle's finished. But if they continue up, Bitcoin doubles. Okay, so then you have like a 50-50 chance. But remember, I told you, friends, I've got your captain's hat on. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money? I don't care about being right. I want us to make money. So if we got that scenario, that's perfect. We're going to win no matter what. Half of your portfolio goes out to stable coins, you win. You literally win. If stocks crash and end the cycle and we get the dark prophecy, sweet. You get a free dip buy. Literally free generational dip buy. And if stocks go into another new epic bull market, you've still got half your portfolio. Luckily for you, been buying the depression. Okay, so that's still the plan. I'm taking it day by day. It is a super sensitive issue because the whole world is turbo long stocks. When this thing finally turns, it's kaput. Make sure you like, subscribe, bell button, and I'll catch you soon.